Hey, Viking fans, this is Keith Millard, and you are listening to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. Go Vikes!
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. I am One Bar with Lupicus. Preseason is in the books, and we're going to be ripping apart this final battle, if that's what you want to call it, that the Vikings had against the Chiefs.
Yeah, it was. It had its ups, it had its downs, and the whole preseason overall, not great for Minnesota Vikings.
Like freezer burnt vanilla ice cream on a warm Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it wasn't great, but we're going to talk about it. And studs and turds of the game, as always, at the end. So make sure in the comments to put your stud and turd of the game. Also, hashtag 4,000 for a chance to win that beautiful purple or white jersey.
Maybe they'll get a Jake Browning one.
I don't know if that one will be available. I don't think that'll be available in the store, but let's do this. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's just start with the first team, and I want to start with the defense started. So let's start there. And I gotta be honest, I was very disappointed in our first team defense that was out there. I know we didn't have Harrison Smith. I know we didn't have Daniil Hunter, no Kendricks, I believe. But what I wanted to see was that D line get a push. And the first play, McKinnon goes for 4 yards right up the middle. So that to me, that was just heartbreaking. That was a dagger to my chest. The hype was so much, and then, I mean, Mahomes never really had an incomplete pass. It was an embarrassing performance.
It wasn't great. I mean, we also have to realize we're playing against pretty much the best team in the NFL, the best offense in the NFL. Would have been great to see him come out and have a stop. Absolutely. They didn't. They look like the Chiefs, and we look like the Vikings, unfortunately. But yeah, first team defense, disappointing. But the names you mentioned that weren't out there, they're some pretty key names.
I know, but there's the guys who are in there got to do something. I mean, I want to see at least some pressure, some pushing. I mean, McKinnon it was too damn easy. And I'm like, Pearson, Tomlinson are in there. I know Pearson only played the one series, but it was very frustrating. Hopes were high. My hopes were dashed. It was like Christmas of 98.
Christmas in 98. That was one of my best
88.
Christmases. 88. That was a good one too.
Yeah,
well, the ML for the Vikings is the depth. So it's just going to be an issue that we deal with. And we had our second string guys out there, or a handful of them anyways. So I wish there was something good we could say about the first team defense. There wasn't. I mean, Tyreek Hill absolutely smoked Breeland. That was tough to see, but again, it's Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, so I'm not going to get too down on that. Nothing.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was frustrating for me. So let's move to the offensive side of football. They moved the ball great, right down the field. Irv Smith Jr. getting involved, which is something we pointed out in the pregame show we wanted to see. Looked damn good, able to run the ball. Kirk Cousins was making some great reads, and they get down first and goal. And I don't know why they didn't call timeout. You could tell it was at BB and Smith Marset, whoever the hell was on there. Didn't know what the hell they were doing. Stepped in their deck a couple of times, end up settling for a field goal. But I was happy with the way the first team offense moved the ball down the field in that first series.
Yeah, they look good. They look good. Overall, first team offense, aside from that, they're still, I hope this is not their actual playbook, because it was very vanilla, very boring. Kirk Cousins didn't come out, light it up a ton, but he did look better, 5 for 7 for 57 yards. Dalvin Cook, as we know, big piece of that, not being out there and our receivers, but Irv Smith, that's my biggest takeaway easily. Irv Smith, damn, is he going to have a good year?
Yeah, I mean, the way they were using him, just those little kind of flare outs, then he's using his athletic ability to dodge defenders, get down the field, great speed. Yeah, he looked good. I'm excited for Irv Smith to get him on the field. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, that is going to be tough to stop. So definitely the big highlight of the first team offense was Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah, offensive line, I think it was just all right. It wasn't horrible.
Well, there was the one, I think it was Amir Abdullah missed the blitz pickup, and Kirk Cousins just got destroyed. So you can't really put that on the O-line. You could tell when the guards and center going this way, there's a huge gap. That's supposed to be running back's responsibility.
We're inverted.
He whiffed. I mean, he kind of dove. He tried, but it was too late. Amir Abdullah never been a great pass protector.
As much as that, I didn't like to see that. At first I thought that might have been Oli Udo's, and I was very glad to see that was not Oli Udo's fault. So Amir, too bad, but oh well. Other than that, first team offense, I mean, Chad Beebe, it appears that he is definitely, he might be the number 4 receiver. I'm not happy about it, but it's going to happen.
He took that nasty hit. I hope he's okay. Out of bounds late in the game there. It was third or fourth quarter. Clearly out of bounds, and it was also a helmet to helmet. So should have been even extra yardage on that thing. But yeah, BB. But Smith Marset looked good. KJ Osborne looked good. So I don't think that battle's anywhere near settled at this point. Maybe they'll mix it up.
Shit, it better be settled.
So second team, Jake Browning comes in and looks like complete ass. There's not much you can say. Overthrowing guys. He kind of had the sad Eli look on his face when they got close to him. It was not good. When Jake Browning was in there, things got gross.
Yeah, Jake Browning looks about as comfortable out there as you at the doctor for your annual checkup when he's looking at your.
Who's erect?
He's looking at your parts. Yeah, Jake Browning. I'm sorry if we do keep 3 quarterbacks, it's going to be somebody that gets cut. Jake Browning, cannot see him making this team. I mean, Kellen Mond will get into him too, but Kellen Mond, he's going to be the backup if it comes out on these two.
Yeah. So second team offense. I mean, that was gross. The defense, though, one shining part of the second team defense was Everson Griffin. Man, he came out, he was hungry, he was eating, and he looked damn good. I think he had a pressure, a sack, and a tackle for a loss. Everson Griffin playing with some fire. We might get a little bit of our money's worth of the old 97/58 this year.
Hell yeah. Griffin came out and gets his sack. Doesn't give a shit if it's preseason or not. He is doing his dance. He looked damn good. Yeah. And I don't think it's crazy to think this guy's going to get 5+ sacks this year. I absolutely think that's on the table. He's going to come out fired up.
Yeah, and he's not going to be starting, so he's going to be strictly rotational. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be hungry. He's going to have energy. And I love that. Why not have a 100% Everson Griffin coming in and passing the situations, ready to dominate? And yeah, he does look ready. I'm excited.
Very excited. DJ Wanham had a sack, so that was good to see. I think he's going to be our starting defensive end opposite Mr. Hunter. Nick Vigil had a couple early good plays. I'm kind of excited to see him full time out there. But our linebacker depth when we got into the 2s and 3s was pretty shaky at best. And same with our secondary.
Blake Lynch had a step back, I thought, last night, not looking great. Let's talk about that secondary. Cam Bynum, I wouldn't be surprised if they just let him go. I mean, he was out of position, not looking good. Not a Cam Bynum fan here at all. Miles Dorn didn't look any better. So I actually think one thing they learned, they got to go out and sign the new safety because they can't rely on any of those two to come in and play. So maybe Will Parks does come to town, get Bynum on the practice squad and kick Dorn's ass out of Minnesota.
Well, that's a little rude. We love Miles Dorn, but yes, he did not look good. Zimmer made a couple quotes after the game, basically saying that they're going to be looking at the waiver wire. They're going to be looking at what other teams get rid of because they're just looking for the best players. So I think that we will see some shakeups at safety, possibly at linebacker, maybe even quarterback and the offensive line. I don't think they're going to be shy.
Yeah, definitely got to fill out this roster. They weren't shy in the preseason, offseason. They're making moves to make this roster complete, and I think they got a few more holes they got to fill here before this thing gets rolling. But let's talk about a few other guys who stood out. To me, Kellen Mond. I know he had a rough start through the ugly interception first, and then he kind of settled down a bit. He had another interception, but I put that on Zach Davidson. I know the ball wasn't greatly placed, but Davidson jumped and kept his hands right here. I don't know if he even jumped. He kind of stood there, almost ducked. He's like, what, 6'8"? If he jumps up, at least get a hand on it, do something. Effort on Davidson's part was horse shit there. Then the fumble was not Mond's fault. He had no chance, completely missed blocked by Blake Brandel. The defender came in untouched and killed him. But what we saw from Kellen Mond last night, moving the ball with his legs, tucking that thing and running, throwing the ball down the field. I mean, he brought the Vikings back in this game. So I was very not impressed, but I was that's what I'm looking for.
You were very I got nothing.
Encouraged by his performance last night. I mean, I think he jumped way ahead Jake Browning. I just thought he took some developmental steps that we've been wanting to see. He did it last night. So I think the Vikings may just roll with him as the backup quarterback. Maybe have your eye on the waiver wire if you need a veteran at some point. But I thought Kellen Mond looked damn good last night.
Yeah, I can tell. You've been talking about him for 10 minutes. And sometimes I like to tuck and run around the yard. I do not have a football in hand. I just do that. Kellen Mond, yes, he's very encouraged is a good word because every game he has gotten better. He's looked more comfortable out there. Those turnovers were not on him yesterday. So Kellen Mond, wonderful to see. Rose too. I mean, everybody's getting jacked up about him, but there's still, I can't see how he makes this team. Practice squatter, no doubt about it. Was good to see him out there having a good game. Brandon Dillon, I think, did good. I think he's definitely going to be that number 3 tight end. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Zach Davidson. Spoiler alert, make sure to check out our 53-man roster projection, our final one coming up to let you know what we think about him. And Smith Marset had another good game.
He did, and not just as a receiver, but as a returner. I think he maybe solidified the return spot as punt and kick returner. I like some of the shifty shit he was doing. He was kind of zigzagging back around and forth on the field, making guys miss, getting some extra yardage. So Smith Marset, definitely, I think he's got the returner job down, at least till Dede Westbrook comes back, if he comes back, if he's even kept on this roster. But very, very impressed by him last night. A couple other guys I thought had good games. Mataafa looked good. Again, he's going to be one of these bubble guys that he might just be the guy who keeps coming back and making this team because the coaching staff loves him. But he showed up last night, had some pressures, had a sack. And Britton Colquitt had a damn good game, averaged 47.8 yards a punt with a long of 57. So he maybe kicked himself right on this team.
Congratulations, Colquitt. I'm glad you're doing your job. I think Cam Danzler had a good game after that rough one last week. Kenny Willekes is going to be an interesting one to watch. You can tell the coaches love this guy. They're always talking about him. You generally don't talk about a guy that's that far down the depth chart. So excited to see him. And yeah, I mean, I think we have seen the last of a couple Vikings that have been around for the last couple of years. I think Hercules, unfortunately, even though he had the sack, I don't know if he's going to be able to stick around. Jalen Holmes, I think, is gone. And unfortunately, Tough Borland, even though he had one beautiful tackle, I think he's gone.
No, he's gone. I want to go back to AJ Rose quick because I think there is one way he makes this team. If the team decides Ngwangu is going to need to be IR, misses the season, then why don't you not? I mean, then you keep AJ Rose on this roster. But other than that, yeah, he's gonna be one of these guys that everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe we cut him, but he's gonna probably end up on the practice squad. But he did put some damn good shit on tape for other teams to see too, so he could be picked up by someone else. Let's talk about some guys who didn't perform very well last night, and I am definitely on that list. But Jake Browning, I mean, this guy, like, he had the one nice pass to KJ Osborne. Other than that, he was overshooting guys. I don't know. It was almost like he wasn't even trying. He just kind of slung that thing, and it wasn't really close most of the time.
Yeah, Jake Browning, I think that story is complete. Zach Davidson, again, not a good game, especially for somebody really scratching to make this team. I had him as a shoe-in to make this roster early. I think he's a practice squatter. Ezra Cleveland didn't appear to have a very fantastic game. Not horrible, but probably his worst preseason game. And the kicker, Greg Joseph, I don't give a shit. Make the field goals. Very shaky. I think that's another position that they'll be looking at. Who else you got?
I had Zach Davidson too. Not just the lack of effort on the interception, but he had a couple penalties, bad penalties. So I do not think he's making this team. And I had Cam Bynum. He's just so far out of position, even when it comes to tackling, coverage. I think a lot of those easy passing plays that even the undrafted quarterback for the Chiefs are making down the field. A lot of that has to do with Cam Bynum just not knowing what the hell he's supposed to be doing. So get his ass in the practice squad. I don't care. Get his ass in the practice squad this year.
The rookie,
not want him on our 52-man roster.
You got to set expectations right.
My expectations are like the last turd that stuck to the toilet bowl.
Gross. All right. Well, let's wrap up preseason just kind of as a whole. 0-3. Anyone watching the games, it was not very pretty. I don't know how many points they ended up scoring total, but not great. But still, I'm not overly worried. Let's see what they do against the Bengals week 1. I still don't think Kubiak has pulled out his playbook. I don't think we've seen what this offense is really going to do, and I still think they're going to get a little goofy on defense. So I'm not worried.
No, I'm not worried, but I'm a little discouraged. I wanted to see some more touchdowns. I want to see us make a few more stops. We had 2 undrafted quarterbacks. Last night was Buechele, and the week before, who's the guy with the Ellinger with the Colts that had no problem moving on our second, third team defense, which we have an undrafted guy in this, second or third year Browning who can't move the damn ball. So that was a little frustrating to me. I just feel like everybody else's backups were way better than our backups, which is a little bit concerning, but I'm not super worried. I feel like the Vikings really held back, like you said, not open up the playbook. And I think they're really playing a lot of vanilla defense, and a lot of guys didn't even play. So I'm not as confident as I was heading in, but maybe just like a pube less after seeing our team.
Oh, pube. Well, let's get into the studs and turds. Let's do this. Let's start off with the turd. Turd. Who's your big stinky turd?
Well, it's perfect because he's a turd because his last name is Browning, and it's Jake Browning. Just a bad performance. He had a shot, and he absolutely blew it. So he looked good against his own teammates in a practice game. That's pretty much been about it for Jake Browning. He's probably going to be on the practice squad. That's my guess.
Really? I actually think he might just be gone. Like, actually, no.
I try to be nice to him.
All right, my turd. is a guy that, it's preseason. It doesn't matter. He's one of the positions that it doesn't matter. They're not no schemes or anything. You have one job to do, and that's to kick it through the damn uprights. And I don't give a shit if it's 50 yards or not. I don't care if it's windy. It's 250-yard plus ones. He's been horrible in practice. He is my turd, no doubt about it. Greg Joseph. I don't think he's going to be our kicker week 1. I think they're going to bring in multiple kickers. I think he's gone. Greg Joseph, I had so much hope for you, and you just continue to let me down.
Oh my God. Does he know you? Does he know you feel this way? You should
No.
write him a letter.
It's gonna be really heartfelt, but yeah, he's my turd. Let's go to studs.
Will you write in cursive when you do it? Will you write in cursive?
No, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, all right. You say your stud of the game first.
My stud of the game is somebody that has gotten a lot of hype, and finally we got to see it firsthand, just a little bit of glimpse of how big of a season he's gonna have. And he had a great game. I'm giving it to Irv Smith. I don't care if he only had 2 catches. But Irv Smith, when he got the ball in his hands, shit happened, and I think he's gonna break out big time, and it'd be a huge part of this offense. He will be our number 3 receiver. Irv Smith, stud. Yes.
I like that. I think it's no surprise who I'm going with here. Kellen Mond. I really like the way he plays, especially bouncing back after a horseshit start. Kept his head in there and moved the ball down the field. Used his legs. Used his athletic ability. So finally, Kellen Mond showing us why the Vikings use a 3rd-round pick on him. I want to see him continue to build out this game and develop into a decent number 2 and maybe a guy who can compete to be the starter down the road.
There you have it. Studs, turds, breakdown. This week 1's coming up faster. We're going to have a ton of episodes coming up, and we cannot wait. Remember, hashtag 4,000 in the comments.
Hashtag 4,000 cut day is Tuesday. So excited, so nervous.
Nervous.
All right. This also makes me nervous. Alligators have permanent erections.